Hello, I'm Bert Bronius, and this presentation is about starting a small group. The topics that we'll be dealing with are defining what is meant by a small group, identifying characteristics of effective groups, describing the steps for starting a small group, providing an agenda for small group meetings, and giving an example of a small group agreement. After that, there will be a couple of resources recommended as well. Well, we could define a small group as an intentional gathering of 3 to 12 people who come together on a regular basis for the common purpose of biblical community. And there are characteristics that we usually look for in effective small groups. Effective groups meet on a regular basis for a common purpose, facilitated by a committed leader who provides an environment for community and fellowship, spiritual formation, outreach, and service. The way to get going, the way to begin a group, is to invite 2 or 3 friends to help you start. Ask one of these to be a support person or a co-leader. Together, think about an affinity that could bring the group together, sort of a common thread that individuals would have. This could be age, similar needs, marital status, geographic location, ministry area of interest, or place where they are in their spiritual journey. Then, to get more specific, agree on the following meeting agenda topics. Try to put together a one-sentence description of the kind of group that you're forming. Develop an agenda for the first meeting and for most meetings. Have an approach that you use for Bible discussion, and develop a group agreement for the first meeting. Set the date for the first meeting, and then personally invite those who may be possible participants. The agenda for most meetings usually has 3 things to it. The gathering phase, that means coming together and making connections with one another. The Bible study part, or if it were a different kind of study, it could be a book study, but this presentation is geared toward Bible study. And the time of caring, mutual support, and prayer together. For most meetings, then, the gathering part occurs during the first 10 to 15 minutes. It's a time of fellowship and welcome. This helps participants to connect or reconnect. The next part is Bible study, and Bible study takes place in the next 20 to 30 minutes. Discussion questions are used for exploring the content of the material, what the material means or how it's interpreted, and the application to life. The caring part of the meeting is emphasized in the last 15 to 20 minutes for sharing needs, celebrations, prayer concerns or requests, and then actually spending time praying together. In terms of the questions that are often used for when the group gathers or begins or connects, and the actual Bible study questions, the questions are like this. Gathering questions, think of topics in our lives that can help us connect our lives with the Bible passage. Bible study observation questions ask the question, what does this passage say? What are the facts? What are the details involved in the passage? Bible study interpretation questions ask, what did this passage mean to those who first received it, to the recipients? And how do we understand this content today? And then finally, the application questions, how should I respond? What should we do in regard to this information? What are the takeaways from this passage? At the first meeting of the group, it's usually helpful to include a group agreement. That is, have everyone on the same page for what's going to happen at group meetings. So this takes place through discussion. In the first session, reach consensus on each of the following statements. The purpose or purposes of this group is to. Purposes could include a combination of things or emphasize one more than another, such as Bible study, prayer, fellowship, spiritual conversations, service projects, and accountability. Other things for the group agreement are to decide when we will meet, that is, how often, would it be weekly or monthly or how many times a month, on what day, from what time to what time, and a commitment to start and end on time. And we will meet at the following place or a location, or will we rotate locations? And then to talk together and say, we will agree on one or more of the following points of emphasis. And these are group member participation, that we share responsibility for the group. Confidentiality, to keep confidences, to say that things that are said in private should not be spread in public. Keep things in the meeting. Accessibility, to give each other the opportunity to contact each other in a time of need. And then there may be other areas that you'd like to discuss as well. So summary, this has been an overview of the notes for starting a small group. Of course, there are many more things that we could go into greater detail, but in this presentation we have defined small groups, described characteristics of effective groups, given suggestions for getting started, and there are two resources that I especially appreciate on this topic, and they are Donahue's book, Leading Life-Changing Small Groups, and Osborne's book, Sticky Church, which relates really small groups, not only telling how to conduct a good small group, but how it relates to the church, the local church, as an organization. I hope that you have enjoyed this presentation, that you will be a part of organizing a small group, that it will bring joy and encouragement to your life, that you'll have many good Christ-centered conversations. May God richly bless you.